Hello and welcome to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. In this session, we will be covering the Spark streaming. That is the first session on Spark streaming. We'll be having more sessions on Spark streaming, including hands-on sessions. So, like Spark streaming is mainly for on-the-fly data processing. We'll be having like Hadoop framework where we will be processing our data in the batch oriented mode, but using the Spark streaming we can process data on the fly. So as soon as data arrived, we can process it and we can create the real-time analytics or any other processing. So as part of this session, we will be covering the following topics: real and near real-time data processing, what exactly that means, then streaming sources and sinks, where the data can be generated and how it can be stored, then very important concepts around the de-streaming, discretized stream. That is very important to understand the uh, this streaming. Okay, and then some basic concepts behind this streaming, and then one example we will see, be very basic example how the Spark streaming can help. So that is stock actions example. We will be covering one of the stock as a tracking practically, and then we will visualize the graph of like real-time data processing. So let's go ahead and we will see this all. So this is very theoretical session and concept understanding the basic concepts of Apache Spark streaming. So once we are done with that, then we'll go ahead with the more concept and then do the hands-on session. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, I suggest please subscribe this video channel, so that in case we load any more videos, you can get the updates or notification as soon as the new video is loaded. And this training is mainly part of our paid subscription Apache Spark Professional Training Hands-on Lab session, where we have various sessions. So like let me go here. This is hadoopexam.com. Just go to the here Spark Professional Training. So you can see this is our paid training. So we have various contents including PDF, hands-on lab, etc. Okay, so let's go ahead first with our sessions and then we'll do discuss more on this. So Apache Spark streaming. So let's first discuss the very basic Hadoop framework. It's best suited for batch processing. So what we exactly do, we will collect the data using like Weblogs or any real-time streaming like vendor data from the financial world, healthcare industry data for the patient stream, and sensor data kind of thing, like various sensors are installed and their streaming data we can capture it. And then once we store using the Apache Flume or Storm or anything, we can just directly ingest the data into this HDFS. And once the data stored in HDFS at the midnight or any time, like after 24 hours or like whatever time you decided, you think you should process the data now. So you write a MapReduce job or Spark job which will process your data and run the analytics. So this can be done like after 6 hours, after 24 hours, or later on whenever you want it, you store it. But what about I want my data just as soon as it arrives, I want to analyze it. I don't want to wait. I don't want to do the batch processing in the middle of the night or something. I have my infrastructure ready and I want to process it in real time. So Hadoop Spark, this is batch processing example. So on the fly data processing we are talking about. So as soon as data arrives, real time we say, generally you have heard the word the real time and near real time. So as soon as data generated, process it. That is the real time processing. What is near real time processing? Process in time interval. Easy. For example, every 5 minutes you collect the data and process it. In next 5 minutes collect the data and process it. This is kind of near real time processing. So which is very like small window of like waiting and then process the data. So Spark streaming provides or help to not only storing data on the fly, but also they can process it. You can process this data. So I'll show you the diagram which will explain more in more detail. So like first take the real-time data collection example. So we are just collecting the data. So we have Weblogs, so like data coming from the web servers or stock market prices or Twitter or something, and ingest data using the Flume. Okay, so Flume is part of the Hadoop ecosystem which will like able to fetch the data from any Weblogs or many places. You can like Kafka messaging engine or wherever you can get it. Even Kafka messaging in engine itself help you to get this data, and then put this HDFS sync. So this is will just sync for the storing data into the HDFS. So we have best explanation in the as part of our Hadoop professional training on the Flume. So you can go through Hadoop professional training and you can learn the Flume. Okay, so now HDFS sync will store the data inside the HDFS file system. So that is the real time. So as soon as my data arrives using the Flume, I just ingest the data in this. Similarly, I can use the Kafka messaging engine. So real time data processing. Now this is real time data collections, how we can collect the data, but I want to process my data on the real time. So what the similar infrastructure having in the middle of this one more extra component, that is like called Spark streaming component. So it receives the data based on the from the Flume or Kafka messaging, and then create the batches out of this. Okay, so this is small batches. We'll discuss more on the what this batches, and using the Spark core library you can process this data here only when they are coming, and then once data is processed, then send it to HDFS sync, which we can be stored in the HDFS file system. So this is the Spark streaming, which will help us to process the data on the fly. So like we are not directly storing as it is data to in the HDFS. We are just first processing this data and then storing into the HDFS. Okay, so that is Spark streaming. So processing live streaming of data, that is Spark streaming. So example applications which can be like, there are hundreds of applications you can implement various like few of the example is the fraud detections, like in the stock market trading is going on, and on the fly like you want to detect like what are the fraud is, like Nasdaq has implemented such in their like runtime on the fly to get the fraud detection, etc. So somewhere I read it. So similarly every stock exchange can like the trading is going on and they want to capture the fraud, like when the trading is going on, they can use this mechanism. There are various implementation, like I gave the example of Nasdaq, but I don't know how they implemented the solution, but they have a solution for this. That could be a different technology. And then sensor malfunctioning, so you have installed the sensors in various places to get fetch the data, and one of the sensors malfunctions, it won't work, then you can get that information on the real time. Sentiment analysis, like sentimental analysis means like suppose elections are going on and we want to like you are continuously fetching the data from using the Twitter or social networking, many places you are getting the data, and the data can be fetched and then directly insert into the Spark streaming, and based on this analysis you can get the trend, like which party, like in India if you will talk about the BJP, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, and then various Twitters, Facebook feeds, messages, and Google Plus messages can be feed into the systems, and they can be on the real time. We can get the analytics, like whether which part, which for which party people are talking about what, like negative sentiments, positive sentiments, and based on that, they can predict their election results as well. So they are doing this nowadays, this kind of analytics. Okay, website analytics, like similarly like how website is huge viewers of your website and where it is being, like in which country, what locations, and what keyword they are using to get your to browse your website kind of thing. So this kind of analytics, and which will help you to produce the advertisement on the fly on the real time, like which advertisement you need to show on the website. This kind of thing you can do this. So these are the various applications. I've just given few examples. Using the Spark streaming you can implement it. So data sources and things, source like which can actually push the data into the Spark streaming, like you generated data from the web log, but that Apache Flume would help you to ingest the data into the Apache streaming. So there is a Kafka messaging engine, Amazon Kinesis engine, Amazon Web Service has their own cloud platform, and there they are providing the Kinesis messaging engine. So from that is very Amazon specific, you can use it and you can directly ingest the data in Spark. Cassandra is a NoSQL database, so you can directly push data from the Cassandra, and Twitter directly you can push it. Sync, like how to store the data using the sync. So we have sync specific to, like if we want to store data in HDFS, then we can use the HDFS syncs. If we want to store data in HBase NoSQL database or Cassandra NoSQL database, then accordingly we have syncs. And there is Amazon Cloud. So Amazon Web Service has their own storage, like similar to HDFS. Amazon also has S3. This is not similar, I can say this is completely different, but that can help you store huge volume of data like HDFS. So that is on the cloud based. Okay, so HDFS could be in your in-house, but S3 is on the cloud, and they charge based on your storage and how much your data extract out of this S3. So this is their own cloud storage, sorry. And they can you can store your data using the path of Spark Streaming in S3. So Spark Streaming is an extension of the core Spark API. So we have discussed in our previous session a lot of about the core Spark API, and we have done a lot of hands-on. So similarly, like Spark Streaming is just an extension over this and provides additional functionality to process the real-time data as well as near real-time data. So this is the data generation part, like you see this diagram. So Weblog, stock prices, and Twitter, like I've taken the example, and insert this data using the sources, like you can just push this data to the Kafka messaging engine or Flume, Apache Flume, or Kinesis or Twitter, and then this data sources can push your data, sorry, this data to this Spark engine, that is where the on the fly Spark Streaming. Okay, so your data is inserted into the batches, small batches, micro batches would be created. Okay, so we'll discuss about this, and then you can just like your core Spark API we have done in like map functions, reduce function, join function, and window functions, we can apply independently on each this batch, and then produce the output. And this output using the sync like HDFS sync, SQL DB, like you can store data in RDBMS after processing as well, or dashboard, so just to visualize the data. So like the dashboard could be ClickView, Tableau, these are the platform which can help you to view your data. Okay, so I'll show you one example, small example on this. Okay, so we can like, so here the main component we will want to discuss is the Spark Streaming. So you can on the fly apply the map, reduce, join, window function, many functions you can apply on the fly data, and once you process the data and push into the your accordingly to your sync. Okay, in fact you can apply Spark's machine learning and graph processing algorithm on this data once they are arrived at. It is not necessary you first store and then process it. On the fly you can process it. So that is the main intention behind the Spark Streaming. So Spark Streaming divide data into micro batches. So you can see like streaming is coming and micro batches are created. So micro batch, each micro batch replicated at least on 2 nodes, like this would be replicated. So when this micro batch is created, that would be replicated on at least 2 nodes by default. You can reduce it or you can increase it. Each micro batch is processed by Spark engine in parallel or in sequence, both is possible. Output would be in batches. Okay, again the output would be in batches. So here you can see like data is coming. So this is entire Blogger Spark Streaming. Okay, Spark Streaming engine which produce this data, and then core Spark engine API you can apply on this micro batches and produce the processed data output. This. So on the fly data processing inside this block, and once the process data and then send it to the HDFS to store this. So here you can see the batches of the input data. So this batches of the input data generated, that is called RDDs. Okay, so we have already discussed in depth too much on the RDD, so resilient distributed data set. Okay, so this data set is available what I mean like RDDs are, we have already in depth discussed on this. So this is just a distributed component. On this you can run your Spark engine API, and once you apply this API or whatever functionality you want to implement it, and then it generate the process data or filter data, join data, whatever, and you can simply store it, save as a text file, save as a Parquet file, save as a Avro file, or whatever way you can store this file into the HDFS sync. So this is the actual on the fly processing you are doing this data. Okay, so this is de-streaming. So this and all the RDDs which is continuously generated from your input data is called the D streaming. So that is D stream, and that is discretized stream. Actually this is called discretized stream. So this is nothing, just a sequence of RDD. Okay, so RDD I'm not going to discuss here again because we have already covered too much on RDD in previous sessions. Okay, so now this is discretized stream, and this D stream represent a continuous stream of data, so that is divided in batches, and this is D streaming. Okay, that point you have to remember. So this is the D streaming, and the D stream is a collection of like sequence of RDD, and that would be processed by Spark engine and produced as a process data. So creation of D streaming can be created from input data stream is for example Flume, Twitter and Kansas. Here we can see here. Okay, applying transformation on D stream only, you can apply the transformation on D stream and create another D stream. So this is like we apply transformation one RDD and create another RDD. Similarly, we can apply transformation on D stream and create another D stream. Okay. Next, new batch, new RDD are created at regular intervals. Okay, so we define the interval. So minimum interval size is the 500 milliseconds. You can say half second, and then could be, it's your choice, you can make as big as you want it. So we generally have several seconds of size. So suppose I have 2 seconds as a max size as a my batch size. So every 2 seconds new RDD would be created from my data. Okay, so the data which is in input. Okay, so now let's move to the next. At the beginning of each time interval, a new batch is created. Suppose I have 2 seconds, so at the 0th second first one batch would be created, and at the end of the 2 seconds it would be finished. So one batch contains 0 to 2 seconds, whatever data arrived between 0 to 2 seconds, and next data would be like between 3 to okay, just give me a minute. So let's assume it at 0th second I have received this line of data, and next I received this line of data, and after that I received this line of data, and these 3 lines I have received in 0 to 2 seconds. So this will move to the in this RDD component, and all this 3 record goes here inside this. And next at the start of the 2 second I have another lines or KIF coming, and this is 2 to 4 second. Okay, so this would be 2 to 4 second will be receiving, and this would be my next batch. So this is 2 seconds is my interval. Okay, so every 2 seconds we are receiving the data and we are pushing it here. So this is new batch would be created out of this every 2 seconds. Okay, and so any data that arrives during that interval gets added to that batch. So same thing we have discussed here, like between 2 to 4 seconds whatever data arrives will be added in this batch, and 0 to 2 seconds would be that. So similarly for this, every 2 seconds new batch is created. So batch interval, the size of the time interval is determined by the parameter called batch interval. So this is the batch interval parameter which will help you to create the size of our batch interval. What happens, suppose I have not received any data between 0 to 2 seconds or 2 to 4 seconds. What happens in this case? Still my RDD would be created, but that RDD would be empty. Correct? So here suppose during the, I would say 4 to 6 seconds, if I don't receive my data, still RDD would be created, but this RDD won't be having any data. This would be empty RDD. Okay, generally batch interval is between 500 milliseconds to several seconds. So D streaming, actually we have discussed, like this is RDD sequence of RDD, so that is called D streaming. If no data is present in a given interval, the RDD will simply empty, as we have discussed. The D stream also have new stateful transformations that can aggregate data across the time. So like across the time, like you have two RTT, correct, and you want to aggregate the data between these two RTT. Now till now we have discussed about independent this all, but still if you have stateful transformations, then you can use like previous RTT and a new RTT together to join or aggregate whatever. So that is called stateful, which we will be discussing in the next session about regarding the stateful transformations. Okay, let's take an stock market example. So before that, I want to mention, like wherever you are watching this video on YouTube most probably, or vimeo.com, please subscribe this video channel so you can get notification, as well as this PDF can be you can find under the description section of video. Okay, so this is our 22nd module of the Spark professional training. Okay, we'll be keep adding more sessions on this as part of our professional training. Okay, so let's take an example of IBM stock price, like on the any and Dow Jones index of US. Let's assume the IBM stock price is $200 nearly. So every second we have our batch size. Okay, 1 second is my batch size. So every second we from the stock market since index Dow Jones, we are getting the price 3 times price. 200.02 is the first quotation, 200.01, 200.02. so in first second, in the next second we are getting the 200.07, 200.11, 200.11. so this is the stock price we are keep getting. So data is keep coming for IBM. Okay, so but we have taken the example only for one stock, but there are thousands of stock listed in the stock market. So every stock price we want to do this thing. So huge volume of data is keep coming. So this is 1,000 number of stocks, and we have hundreds of indexes. Like Dow Jones is one of the example of indexes, but in the US market at the time there are hundreds of indexes. Similarly globally if you take it, so there are many more indexes, correct. So now we are getting the data for every second. So this is the receiver, okay, which receives the data, and now we want to get the distinct stock price only during 1 second. We don't want all the price which are repeated. So like here we have one RDD created out of our first second interval, 200.02, 200.01, 200. So 200.02. so this is my first RDD, this is my second RDD from this second set, and this is third RDD from third set. Now apply the distinct function. So that is the distinct function from Spark Core API. So there is Spark streaming finished. Okay, so now this distinct function is applied on this RDD, and it will give you the distinct data out of this. So 200.02 is the and 200.01. Similarly distinct functionality applied on this. So this two quotation, and this is the last one, third one has the distinct position. And then once we process this data, now I want to store in HDFS. Okay, once I store in HDFS in real time, or if I don't want to store in HDFS, I can store somewhere else, and I want to visualize this data like the continuous stream of the data. So every second we are like our stock market open price 200, and at first second the price was 200.01, 02 or 01, and here 02, and then 2.07 to and to 11 something. I want to draw the chart, like what is the price going on for every half second or something, or average price of every second of the by taking the distinct, and we generate the graph. So based on this, till now, like till afternoon you have this graph drawn, and now somebody want to predict based on this the growth of the stock market on particular day. They can see like this is going, so they can buy, they can take the decision whether they want to buy it or not. So you can visualize this data. So this is data keep coming on real time, and this graph is keep generated on the real time, the prices. So similarly on many stock market prices or on listing sites, you can see this kind of graphs is available for individual stock price, correct. So this is one of the way I am saying there are different technologies, the things have been implemented, but to make you easy like understanding, I try to bring this example so you can get it what exactly real-time processing data means and how Spark can help this. So this is the like distinct functionality we have applied on the real-time data. So this is Spark Core API, which we have done in-depth exercises in previous sessions. Okay, so now hands-on session. So now we have this implemented. So this is like huge volume of data being generated because of so many stock exchanges, so many indexes, so many stock market, and millions of stocks. Huge volume of real-time data streams keep coming. So that is why this is big data is needed. Initially there was not so much data, so that is fine. We don't need the big data. So the visualization of real-time stock prices we have done here. So that's all about the core Spark API. So I would suggest you just visit the hadoopexam.com and you can see the entire syllabus of Apache Spark professional training from here. So we have like various sessions and this PDF included, and hands-on sessions, so many hands-on sessions, and we are keep adding the sessions. So we have various certification solutions and etc. And I would suggest even you subscribe this like using the just subscribe button for getting the updates. So you once you subscribe it, you can get the updates if we do add any new sessions, new materials, anything, so you can get it. So using the subscribe button you subscribe it. And you please, I would suggest, don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel, because if you are watching this video on YouTube, if you are watching on Vimeo, then also please subscribe it, so whenever we add new video you will get the notification from this, so it will be easy for you. So there are various product has been listed here which will be provided by hadoopexam.com. even these are very limited set, we have many more things on. Please keep visiting hadoopexam.com to get more details on the available products. So thanks for watching, and I hope you like this session. This is very conceptual theoretical sessions. Next we will be having hands-on session on Spark streaming, so where we step by step we will run the example, and you can learn how to use this Spark streaming practically. So thanks for watching.